The ambassador's promise. Ambassador Alina Ray gazed out the viewport of her diplomatic cruiser as it neared the shimmering azure sphere of Solar Prime. The planet's 3 moons floated like luminous pearls against the ink-black void, casting silver reflections over the sprawling oceans. This would mark humanity's inaugural diplomatic exchange with the Solarans, a species famed across the stars for their refined bioengineering and serene ideology. Behind her, Communications Officer Darius Chen gave a soft cough. "Ambassador, incoming transmission from the Hegemony Oversight Vessel in orbit." Alina resisted a sigh. The Galactic Hegemony, a confederation of the 7 eldest spacefaring civilizations, had steered interstellar governance for over 2 millennia. Their stance on humanity was consistent: too volatile, too erratic, too risky to share advanced knowledge. For 5 decades since Earth's first FTL breakthrough, the hegemony had blocked alliances and trade deals, keeping humanity at arm's length. "Patch them through, Darius," she said, straightening her dark blue uniform. "The face of High Administrator." Vexthor flickered onto the screen. His skin scaled and gleaming, 6 golden eyes narrowing in disapproval. "Ambassador Rias," he hissed, "your craft enters a restricted development sector. The Solarans remain under hegemony jurisdiction. Your presence breaches Protocol 37B of the Galactic Charter." Alina offered a calm smile. "High Administrator." With due respect, the Solarans issued this invitation directly. They achieved FTL travel 12 years ago, qualifying as autonomous under the Charter. Section 14, Paragraph 3. Vexthor's jaw ridges flared. Humans always manipulate our laws to suit themselves. The Solarans are still under review. Their probation remains active until concluded. "A 12-year evaluation," Alina replied evenly, "despite the standard being 3. My government has filed 17 official complaints about the delay, all unanswered. Your presence is not welcome, Ambassador. Proceed, and consequences will follow." The transmission cut sharply. Captain Mara Singh emerged from the bridge, concern etched on her face. "Well, that went as predicted. Scanners show 5 hegemony warships nearby. Not typical for observation duty." Alina gave a short nod. "They don't want us forging new ties, especially not with a species this sophisticated." She addressed the bridge crew. "Proceed. We hold a valid invitation and diplomatic clearance." Their vessel broke through the atmosphere, descending to a coastal capital named Luminara. Towering structures sparkled with bioluminescent hues, the architecture appearing grown rather than built, spiraling skyward in elegant curves. Awaiting them on the landing pad stood tall, willowy figures with iridescent skin that shifted colors as they moved. Their large, faceted eyes shimmered like living crystals. Alina stepped forward, lifting her hands, palms out, a traditional Solaran gesture. "People of Solara, Earth sends you greetings. We are honored by your welcome." The tallest among them, wearing formal robes that marked him as Prince Searle, returned the gesture. "The honor is mutual, Ambassador Rias. For too long, the hegemony has kept us from meeting those beyond their influence. We have much to discuss." The delegation led them through the radiant city. Curious Solarans looked on, humans likely the first non-hegemony beings they'd ever encountered. Alina noted security quietly stationed throughout their path, subtle but thorough. Prince Searle guided them into a grand hall with a roof open to the stars. "This is the Hall of Transparency," he said, "our sacred place for truth-sharing." Once sealed inside, his tone shifted. "Ambassador, we don't have much time. What I say must remain within these walls." Alina straightened, instantly focused. "You have my word." The hegemony plans a so-called cultural integration ceremony in 3 days. All, Solar and leadership will attend. Zarl's colors darkened with emotion. Our intelligence suggests it is actually a planned purge. The Lena felt ice in her veins, a purge. You're certain a female. Solarin stepped forward, introducing herself as chief. Intelligence analyst Mila. We intercepted communications between hegemony vessels. They speak of population reduction and resource reclamation. This matches historical patterns before the Hygigaman eliminated the Krell and Vidian civilizations. Darius, who had been scanning documents on his data, looked up sharply. Those species are listed ace extinct due to natural disasters, engineered disasters. Zurl corrected, the Hygigameni allows no potential rivals. The Krill were master shipbuilders, the Vidians weapons, innovators, and the Solarans are bioengineers. Elena realized your advancements threatened. Their technological monopoly, May's skin rippled with dark blues, Fearway discovered how to integrate biological and technological systems at a cellular level. Our breakthroughs could revolutionize medicine, terraforming even interstellar travel. Why now, Elena asked. You've had these capabilities for years because of you. Zarel said simply, humanity. The Hygemony fears a human-solar alliance more than anything, your adaptability, and our biotechnology together would challenge their dominance. Elena paced the chamber, mind racing. We need evidence, something concrete we can present to the Galactic Assembly. Evidence won't matter. Mila said, bitterly, the Assembly is controlled by Hygemony interests. Then we evacuate your leadership before the ceremony. Elena suggested. Zarel shook his head. They monitor all orbital traffic. Any unusual movement would trigger immediate action. Belena's communicator chimed. It was Captain Singh, Ambassador Urgent. NewsHour orbital sensors detected stealth vessels entering the system. Hegemony Purifier-class ships. The room fell silent. Everyone present knew what Purifier-class ships were designed for. Planetary bombardment. They're moving up the timeline. Elena whispered. How long? Hours, not days, Singh replied. Elena turned to Zurl. You need to order a planetary evacuation. Immediately. Impossible, Zurl said, his colors fading to ashen gray. We have billions of citizens and only enough ships for perhaps 1 million people. Elena made a split-second decision. Captain Singh, transmit emergency protocol. Omegato Earth Command Authorization Ray is Alpha 79 Ambassador. That will reveal. I know what it will reveal. Elena cut here off. Do it now. She turned to the stunned Solarins. Gather your leadership and as many civilians as you can reach. You have 2 hours for what Zorro asked to save your species. Elena answered. Grimly, events moved with brutal efficiency after that, while the Soldarans mobilized evacuation efforts. Elena's team, coordinated with Earth Command Protocol Omega, was humanity's deepest secret. The revelation that Earth had built its own fleet of advanced warships in direct violation of hegemony restrictions for 50 years. Human ship had officially been limited to minimal defensive capabilities, while secretly, deep in asteroid bases and hidden lunar facilities, humanity had prepared for exactly this scenario. By the time the first hegemony plasma bombardment began to fall on Luminina, the solar evacuation was underway. The hegemony, expecting no assistance, had been caught off guard when 3 Earth battle cruisers dropped out of stealth positions to provide cover fire. Elena stood in the central evacuation center, with Prince Searle coordinating the desperate flight of civilians. The ground shook with each impact. The beautiful crystal spires of the city shattering one by one. The third evacuation wave is away, reported. Dariushi's face streaked with dust from a partial ceiling collapse. But the hegemony has adapted its targeting. They're focusing on our ships. Now a tremendous explosion rocked the buildings. Structural supports began to fail as the ceiling started to collapse. Elena pushed several Solaran children toward the exit before diving clear herself. When she looked up, part of the chamber had collapsed, cutting them off from the main evacuation route. Is there another way out? She shouted to Zorro over the den of destruction. The prince nodded, leading them down a secondary corridor. The royal transport is in a secure hangar below. It can hold perhaps 40 people. There are at least 100 evacuees still in this sector. Elena said. Zarl's colors swirled in anguish. I know they reached the underground hangar where a sleek vessel waited nearby. Terrified Solar and civilians huddled together, their skin colors muted in fear. Alina opened a canal to her ship captain Singh. "What's your status? We've lost. The Dauntless and the Resilient is heavily damaged." Singh replied, her voice tight with controlled emotion. "Earth Command reports the main fleet is still 9 hours out." "We can't hold them that long," Alina made her decision. "Get our remaining ship out with as many evacu as possible. The Prince and I will take his transport with the civilians from this sector, Ambassador. That's an order, Captain Humanity. Made a promise to protect our allies. Keep that promise." The transmission ended. Elena turned to see Zyril watching her, his eyes reflecting her image 1,000 times over. "That's what allies do," Olina replied as they loaded civilians onto the transport. A deafening roar filled the air. The ceiling of the hangar began to crack as the bombardment intensified. "We're out of time," Zor-El said. They sealed the transport doors with barely half the civilians aboard, all they could fit. Elena took the co-pilot seat as Zor-El guided the ship out through a collapsing tunnel into the burning sky above Luminara. What they saw from orbit would haunt Elena forever. The once beautiful azure world was scared with fire clouds of ash obscuring entire continents' hegemony. Warships methodically circled, the planet firing precise bursts that targeted population centers. "This is genocide," she whispered. Prince Sorel's voice was hollow with shock. "My world, my people." The Solaran royal transport slipped past the hegemony blockade, its advanced stealth systems temporarily shielding them from detection as they prepared to jump to emergency coordinates. Alina sent one final transmission to Earth. "This is Ambassador Ree. To all Earth Command. The hegemony has begun the systematic destruction of Solar Prime. I have Prince Sorel and approximately 40 survivors aboard. Countless billions are being slaughtered as I speak." She paused, fighting to keep her voice steady. "The hegemony has shown its true face today. Humanity must answer, rise out as the ship jumped to safety." Alina made a silent promise to the burning world behind them. This atrocity would not go unanswered. Humanity had hidden its strength for decades, waiting for the right moment to challenge the hegemony's cruel rule. That moment had come. Retribution's edge, Admiral Hero Kostood. Before the holographic display, in Earth Fleet Command, his weathered face, illuminated by the blue glow of tactical projections around him, the highest-ranking military officials of Earth's United Defense Force watched in grim silence as the footage from Solar Prime played for the 5th time the systematic destruction of an entire civilization, billions of lives extinguished in a matter of hours. The solar and evacuation ships have been directed to the Artemis base in the Kuiper Belt, reported General Diana Okafor, her voice tight with controlled rage. "Ambassador Rias and Prince Earl will arrive within 12 hours. Admiral Cato nodded, and "The hegemony still at Solar Prime harvesting resources from the ruins," Diana replied. "Our stealth probes indicate they're already setting up mining operations. They're not even waiting for the Firestorm cool." A President Amaran Mosu attending via secure hologram from Earth spoke next Admiral Katao. "The Security Council has voted authorization for operation. Sunbreaker is granted full deployment of the Phoenix fleet, is approved." A murmur ran through the assembled officers. For 50 years, humanity had hidden its true military capabilities from the hegemony, while officially complying with restrictions that limited Earth ships to minimal defensive capabilities. A secret fleet had been constructed in hidden shipyards throughout the solar system. The Phoenix fleet, named for the mythical bird reborn from ashes, represented humanity's determination to never again be at the mercy of alien powers. "It's time to show the hegemony what humanity is truly capable of," Keto said, his voice deceptively soft. "Commence Operation Sunbreaker." She. Throughout the solar system, hidden facilities sprang to life. Massive doors opened in the sides of asteroid shipyards concealed beneath the clouds of Jupiter, activated launch sequences, stealth hangars on Mars, and Luna-discorged vessels that had Never been registered in any official database, the Phoenix fleet consisted of over 200 warships from nimble attack cruisers to massive dreadnoughts. Each incorporated reverse-engineered alien technology combined with uniquely human innovations. They had been built for one purpose: to challenge the hegemony's military supremacy. Admiral Cato transferred to the fleet flagship, the UES Prometheus, a vessel 3 times larger than any officially acknowledged human ship. On the bridge, he met with his command staff to finalize the battle plan. The hegemony has ruled through fear for 2,000 years. He told them they've eliminated any species that threatened their power. Today we show them they finally met. Their match strategic displays showed the fleet primary targets 7 key hegemony worlds, including their homeworld of Vex Prime. Simultaneous strikes would throw their command structure into chaos. The plan was not total. War humanity would not descend to genocide, but rather a surgical dismantling of the hegemonies. Military capacity, Sir High's executive officer, interrupted. Ambassador Rias is requesting permission to come aboard. Cato raised an eyebrow. Granted, escort her to the bridge immediately. Alina Rice arrived minutes later, her diplomatic uniform replaced by a standard fleet jumpsuit. Behind her came Prince, his opalescent skin now dull with grief, and several other Solaran survivors. Admiral Elena said, saluting crisply, "Prince Zarel has critical intelligence on hegemony defenses." Zarel stepped forward. "My people have been studying the hegemony for generations, preparing for a day we hoped would never come. We have detailed schematics of their defense systems, access codes to their communication networks, and the locations of their fleet staging areas, Your Highness." Ko said with genuine respect, "This information could save countless lives, both human and Solaran. The Solarans and humans stand together." Now Zoro replied, "My only request is that I be allowed to join this fight. I have extensive training in biological warfare countermeasures knowledge that may be useful when the hegemony deploys their more exotic weapons." Cato considered their quest granted. "You will work directly with our tactical division." As the meeting continued, Zarel provided the command staff with access to solar and intelligence. What they discovered was sobering. The hegemony had been systematically eliminating threatening species for millennia. Rewriting galactic history to erase their victims' humanity was but the latest target in a long line of civilizations deemed too dangerous to exist. 12 hours later, the Phoenix fleet departed the solar system through a series of controlled wormholes. Another technology the hegemony believe humans didn't possess. They emerged simultaneously at 7 different hegemony systems at the hegemony military hub of Craxa 4. Admiral Cataled, the largest battle group personally, the Prometheus dropped out of the wormhole directly above the planet's main defense station before the hegemony could react. Precision strikes disabled their orbital weapons platforms. "This is Admiral Haruto Keto of the United Earth Fleet." He broadcast on all frequencies. "The hegemony's unprovoked genocide of the Solaran people will not stand. Surrender your military installations and prepare for new leadership." Their response was immediate and predictable: a barrage of plasma fire from the planet's surface batteries. The human fleet had anticipated this, their ships equipped with advanced deflection shields based on principles even the hegemony hadn't mastered. They always assumed superior firepower equals victory. Keto remarked to Elena, who stood beside him on the bridge, "It's why they've never truly understood humans." The battle for Craxar 4 lasted less than 3 hours. Precision strikes neutralized military targets while avoiding civilian areas. Drop ships deployed ground forces to secure strategic locations. By the time the planetary governor surrendered, the hegemony forces had suffered overwhelming losses, while civilian casualties remained minimal. Similar scenes played out across 6 other systems. The Phoenix fleet operated with surgical precision, dismantling the hegemony's military infrastructure without resorting to the planetary bombardment tactics that had destroyed Solar Prime on the Prometheus. Alina worked tirelessly alongside Prince Cyril, coordinating with other surviving Solarans who had been hidden throughout the galaxy by their intelligence network. They activated sleeper cells and resistance groups on dozens of planets, focusing on worlds where the hegemony had subjugated local populations. 3 days into the operation, the first major counterattack came. A hegemony battle fleet twice the size of Admiral Katao's forces emerged from hyperspace. Near Krakiv, they've redirected their central armada, reported Tactical Officer Lieutenant Commander Rayo Conquo. 17 capital ships, over 200 support vessels. Kato studied the tactical display calmly. Right on schedule. Move the fleet into Sunbreaker Formation Beta. Prepare for Phase 2. The human fleet appeared. Tore retreat drawing the hegemony forces into pursuit as they passed the fourth moon of Krakiv. The trap was sprung, hidden antimatter mines detonated throughout the enemy formation, disrupting their shields. Simultaneously, cloaked human destroyers decloaked and opened fire from point-blank range on the bridge of the hegemony flagship, Eternal Dominion. High Commander Vexthor watched in horror as his ships were systematically disabled. The humans were not using standard weapons, but precisely calibrated energy. Pulses that overloaded systems without destroying the vessels, completely impossible. He hissed as reports of failures cascaded across his command console. These primitives can't have such technology. A communication request flashed on his screen against. Hiss. Better judgment, Vexthor accepted it. Admiral Katao's face appeared. High Commander, your fleet is neutralized. Your crews can be saved if you order an immediate surrender. Humans! Vexthor spat. You think one victory makes you or equals? We have ruled the stars for 1,000 years. We have erased entire species from history. You are nothing. Yeah, there we are. Keto replied evenly. Your choice, Commander, surrender or perish, Vexthor. Cut the transmission. He turned to his second-in-command. Initiate the Omega Protocol. The humans must not be allowed to inspire others on the Prometheus. Alarms blared as sensors detected unusual energy readings from the hegemony flagship. They're activating some kind of super weapon. Lieutenant Commander Okono reported energy signature, unlike anything in our database. Prince rushed to the tactical station, his colors flashing with alarm. It's the World Breaker, the same weapon they used on my home world. Can we stop it? Katao demanded. Theoretically, Zurl replied. The weapon creates a cascading reaction in a planet's core, but it requires massive energy buildup if we can disrupt that buildup. Elena stepped forward. The solar and biointegration technology. Could we use it to create a counter-frequency? Zerald's colors shifted to hopeful blue. Yes, with your quantum processors and our biological harmonizers. We might generate an inverse wave pattern. Keto gave the order. Immediately make it happen, all ships. Focus fire on the Eternal Dominion's main reactor housing. Buy them time. The next 30 minutes were a desperate race. While the human fleet engaged the hegemony forces, Elena Zorel and a combined team of human engineers and solar and scientists worked to integrate their technologies. They created a makeshift device, part biological, part technological, that could generate the counter. Frequency needed. It's ready, Elena reported, but we need to get it within half a kilometer of their main emitter. Keto nodded grimly. I'll take a strike team myself. No, Elena countered. The fleet needs you. I'll go with Zorro before Keto could object. She continued. I was there when they destroyed his world. We both deserve to be there when we stopped them from destroying anything. Else reluctantly, the Admiral agreed. Elena and Zero led a small team aboard a stealth insertion craft, exploiting the chaos of battle to approach the hegemony flagship. Using Solarin access codes, they bypassed security systems and fought their way to the central weapons control. The device was placed just as the World Breaker reached 90% charge. When activated, it created a feedback loop that reverberated through the weapon systems. The hegemony flagship shuddered as energy conduits overloaded. The World Breaker imploded, taking the ship's main power core with it. High Commander Vexthor watched in disbelief as his mighty vessel went dark around him. Emergency lighting cast eerie shadows across the bridge as human boarding parties breached the outer hole. When Admiral Cato finally came face to face with the hegemony leader, Vexthor had been secured by Elena's team. The hegemony. Commander's 6 eyes burned with hatred. "This changes nothing," he hissed. "The other hegemony worlds will never submit to human rule. We're not interested in ruling," Cato replied. "Unlike you, we don't believe domination is the natural order of things." Over the next week, the coordinated human Solaran campaign systematically dismantled the hegemony's military infrastructure. With each victory, more subjugated species rose up against their oppressors. The Phoenix fleet was joined by allies from dozens of worlds, all victims of hegemony exploitation. The final battle took place at Vex Prime itself. The hegemony's last defensive fleet formed a desperate blockade around their home world. Admiral Ketau offered them one last chance to surrender. "Your empire is finished," Het transmitted, "but your people need not. Suffer, lay down your weapons, and we can build a different kind of galaxy together for 3 tense hours." No response came. Then, one by one, the hegemony ships powered down their weapon systems. The 2,000-year reign of terror was over. In the aftermath, Alina Ray found herself standing beside Prince Cyril in the Great Hall of what had once been the hegemony Central Government Complex. Representatives from 27 species had gathered to discuss the formation of a new Galactic Council, one based on equality rather than domination. "My people are gone," Cyril said quietly. "Our homeworld destroyed, yet something new rises from those ashes." Elena nodded. "The surviving Solarans will have a new homeworld. Earth has already pledged territories for resettlement." "And the humans?" Cyril asked after showing such power. "What will you do with it?" Elena smiled. "What humans have always done with power. Argue endlessly about how to use it responsibly." The prince's colors shifted to amused violet. "Perhaps that is why the hegemony feared you. So much not your strength, but your restraint." As the representatives began to take their seats for the first session of the new council, Elena reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Humanity had hidden in the shadows, building their strength. While appearing weak, the Solarans had studied their oppressors while seeming to comply. Both had waited for the right moment to act. The hegemony had ruled through fear for 2 millennia. They had never understood that true strength comes not from domination, but from cooperation. They had believed themselves invincible, never realizing that their greatest weakness was their belief in their own superiority. Now a new chapter in galactic history was beginning, one written not by conquerors but by allies who had learned that standing together was the greatest power of all.